Well, good day, viewers. Today we have a 2011 Ram 1500 4x4 crew cab. It's here for a couple of things: a routine service. It's got some warning lights on the dash. Got the airbag warning light on, got the brake warning light on, traction control light on over here. He says the check engine light was on, but I don't see it on now. Let's make sure it works. Yeah, there it is, above the tire pressure sensor light. And it's due for an oil change. So let's scan it and see what codes it has to offer. So I've loaded the vehicle history on this vehicle. I've worked on this thing several times. It has a history of oil consumption, if I recall correctly. Had cylinder heads done at another shop and has had oil consumption ever since then. 301,000 kilometers on it. Let's do a code scan. I got the key on with a battery charger on it. Implausible left wheel distance signal received. Well, that's interesting. That's in the ECM. U1417. And then anti-lock brakes has got left rear wheel speed sensor circuit fault, brake fluid level active low. I asked him to check the brake fluid level. I assumed he did. That's an active code. So it's either low on brake fluid or it has a defective sensor. Left rear wheel speed sensor circuit erratic performance, probably wiring. Torque request signal denied, likely due to these codes present. Lost communication with left side satellite sensor 4. Right low beam, left low beam, right high beam, left high beam. I think it's got modified headlights, probably LEDs. Brake fluid level circuit high, active. Implausible data received from ABS. And he has a trailer brake problem. Okay, so we're focusing on the ABS codes. Let's look at this brake fluid level sensor first and foremost. So although the brake fluid is not physically low, I see a wire off of the brake fluid level sensor. It looks like the connector was compromised at some time and somebody's fixed it with a couple of spade terminals. I wonder if I have one of these connectors. Okay, let's get a better angle on this. So I managed to get it reconnected. Let's cycle the key and see if that code goes to history. So I'm just going to go into the ABS and do codes again. So the brake fluid level code is now stored. Left rear wheel speed sensor circuit code and left rear wheel speed sensor circuit signal erratic performance. These things have a tendency for the wiring to get compromised. He sent me a text and he had a cam timing code. I wonder if he cleared that. Well, let's do a network code clear and then we'll have a look at the rear speed signals. Got to do this key on, engine off. That's why I have a battery charger on it. I guess we'll put it up in the air because we got to do a service, and we'll check the wiring to the left rear speed sensor, I think it was. I got a recording of these codes anyways. Okay, so cleared codes from 16 controllers. Okay, we're going to stop there and put it up on the hoist. So I got it up in the air. I don't see anything obviously wrong with the wiring to the left rear speed sensor. It's been repaired before by me a couple years ago, I think. But that doesn't mean it hasn't failed again. But I noticed when I I had the key on, the service four-wheel drive module, or service four-wheel drive indicator message was on the dash. So let's check the drivetrain control module and see what codes it may have generated. Implausible data received from ABS, because I cleared that code. So let's go back into the ABS and see what codes it's generated. Left rear wheel speed sensor circuit short stored, so that's history, and all I did was move the wheel. Let's have a look at it. So you can see where I've fixed the wiring before. And I secured the wires so that they wouldn't be wobbling or moving. I can't turn the wheel. Wonder if we can get a repair harness. Let's see if we can get a repair harness for this. I bet you this wires are compromised in here. So I got the connector off, and you can see some oxidation on that left-hand terminal. I'm going to check the inside of the connector. I'm going to spray this out with some deoxit spray. Obviously that, well, the high salt spray around here, and clean this up and put it back together again and see if that resolves it. Put some Stabilitin 22A on it after I deoxidize it. So you can see that terminal on the left is green. I'm going to try and depin that terminal. I pulled the white secondary lock out of there. I'm going to see if I have one of these connectors. I don't think so. See if one's available. But I'm going to see if I can get that terminal out. So I managed to get that terminal depinned. You can see it's pretty compromised. This is a terminal out of a ignition coil connector on the Dodge. I repaired some before, and it's very similar. I'm pretty sure that's the same terminal in there. So I'm going to replace this terminal. I've got enough wire here I can join it, fold it back, heat shrink it, and it should be good to go. So on closer examination, the other wire is pretty compromised as well. It wasn't green, but it's black. So I have another terminal. That way I'll make the wires the same length too. So there's the terminals repaired. I took that seal out and looked at it, and it looks pretty pristine, so I'm going to pack around the seal with dielectric grease. This is what I use to splice those terminals, these uninsulated butt connectors. This smallest series that Pico has now. And I mentioned Stabilitin 22A. Put that on the terminals. Heat shrink, of course, and dielectric grease on the seals around the connector body. Yes, we're going to put it back together again. So there it is, repaired. I put some split loom over top of the wiring because it was exposed here, and I tie wrapped it just to keep it secure so it doesn't vibrate. And we're going to clear the codes. Alright, so we're going to clear the codes. And let's read the codes again. Let's look at data. I got the transmission in neutral, so I should be able to spin the rear wheels. Okay. Front right. Must be on this side. Front left, rear left. Maybe it's over here. Rear right. So I'm going to spin the rear wheels. Hard to turn their wheels because of the differential, but we got speed signals, so I'm going to take it for a road test and see how it performs after we do a service. Well, I've road tested about 7 kilometers and the wheel speed sensor signal looks steady. I see the airbag warning light is back on, so I'm going to have to ask him if he wants to investigate that problem. Focus. Doesn't want to focus. So the ABS and red brake warning light seem to be resolved. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.